Growing up, my dad used to always say, "What a time to be alive." Not because it's an amazing time to be alive, but because we are watching a lot of shit go down right now. Specifically, we are watching the fall of men. Women are passing men in education at a high rate, which is awesome for women, but men are starting to slack behind, and women are having to pick up that slack. We are seeing more women needing to work long hours to support their families, and a scary high rise in single mother households. I'm not saying men are to blame here, but the system is to blame here. But this video isn't trying to change the system. No, not at all. This video is about helping men learn how to change themselves with nothing but the power of their own mind. Why is it that one man can come from nothing and go out and build an empire, while other men that come from, a decent household can't build anything? Why is it that some men get all of the women while others get next to nothing? Why is it that some men win and some don't at all? In this video, we will uncover exactly the issues young men are facing and how you can save yourself. So when I was 6 years old, my brother used to come over on the weekends because we had two different parents, and he used to play Minecraft, but he also modded the game, and I used to watch him play Minecraft. Like, I would just sit there watching him play it. And when he modded it, he had all these cool new items that I was like, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And he had all these new things he can go do, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. And then when I wanted to go hop on it after he left, because he was a hog for the PC, of course, he updated the game, and there was no mods left in the game. So I was stuck playing vanilla Minecraft, and I was like, wow, this is really boring. And I got super sad and depressed, and I was like, WTF. Anyways, my 6-year-old self sat at the computer thinking like I said, this sucks. So I was like, okay, I would have to wait 5 days until the next weekend for my brother to come back and mod the game just so he can hog the computer again, and then I can play next week when he eventually leaves. So I was like, that's not gonna cut it. I need it now. So my 6-year-old self went on Google, and I was like, how to mod Minecraft. And I completely definitely spelled it wrong, and just random things popped up. So I found porn. No, I'm just kidding. But I went on to YouTube, went into the forums, and I started to find out how to mod Minecraft, right? I was dragging things into the folder. Kind of, it didn't work at first, and then I got to work in a couple hours, and boom, I had modded Minecraft, right? And then I started playing. I was like, dude, this is awesome. My brother came back over for the weekend. He saw the game was modded. He was like, Ryan, did you do this? I'm like, yeah. He's like, wow. And he was super surprised. But he was also kind of proud of me. And kind of seeing his reaction and kind of feeling that vibe off of him, I was made me feel really good. It made me feel wow, I taught myself how to do something, and somebody was proud of me to do that, for doing that, and congratulated me. I was like, this is awesome. I didn't have to wait for anybody. I just went out and did it myself. Young men learning how to teach themselves is super important, and making this video is going to be hard because trying to tell people that you don't know how to teach yourself, and I can tell you how to teach yourself, is hard because ego will get in the way, and a lot of people are just going to click off right away. So this video isn't about telling you how to teach yourself. This video is simply me revealing your potential so that you can access the success loop, which we will go over later in the video. But I want to make this video because I was sitting down earlier. I was like, what do a lot of people struggle with? And I was first thinking about social media and how social media really distracts a lot of people, and it creates a lot of noise inside of our head, and we can never really think. But I was like, yeah, but everybody already knows that. How do you even go one step further? Well, a lot of people are taking in information, but they don't know how to do anything with it. A lot of us are consumers, but we're not producers. And this all stems from middle school and high school and schooling, maybe even college. We're all taught to kind of just sit in the classroom and pay attention and then answer the test. And some people, it'll actually work for them and they'll actually be smart. But somebody like me, I was just a consumer. I would just sit there, listen, didn't learn anything at all. I was just going one ear and out the other. I was consume, and I could never produce anything. That way of learning never really did anything for me, so I had to go out and figure out how to learn on my own. So this video is kind of going to be the shortcut to expediting your process of learning on your own and getting real life results in your life. Also just revealing potential that you didn't know you had. So I think it's important to say that this video is really for people under the age of 25, and I say that because when you're younger than 25, your brain is super malleable. It's literally like Play-Doh because it's still developing. So you can kind of change your mindset, and you can really drastically change a lot of viewpoints and whatever inside of your brain, right? You can do whatever you want with it right now. So this is your time to really be on a quest to find yourself and create yourself and be on self-improvement. But if you're over 25, you're fucked. I'm sorry. Like you're gonna be exactly who you are for the rest of your life, for the most part. So you might as well just like go do something else. I don't know. So for the longest time, I struggled with realizing my own potential as a person because I used to look up to the people that I looked up to online, and I used to think they were super different than me. You know, I thought they were just like a different breed. Then I used to start hearing them say that like, I'm no different than you. And I'd be like, yeah, all right. But then they would have revealed like their insecurities or their weaknesses, you know, on video camera or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, okay, stop lying to me. And then they were like, oh, what did they say? No, they didn't say anything, but I was started self-improvement, and the general advice I heard was just like, play to your strengths. And after like a couple of years, like everything connected. I was like, oh, the people I look up to that are successful, right? Very successful, that I look up to and I want to be like, that I think are different than me, simply are just people that played very hard towards their strengths for a long enough period of time, and they made it happen. They taught themselves how to do that. Because think about it, those people you look up to, did somebody teach them how to do that? No, nobody taught them how to do that. They taught themselves how to get there. I'm sure there's teachers along the way, coaches, but nobody sat there like inside of like a room was like, blah, 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 go do your homework and you'll be, no. They had to teach themselves how to do that, and this is exactly what it's all about. So first you need to realize that these people are no different than you. They're exactly the same. Yeah, they might have a better advantage for whatever reason, but so what? That's their strength. And that's your weakness. So don't play towards it. You need to play with your strengths. So right now, kind of like an actual step, open up a notepad, piece of paper or whatever, write down your strengths. If you don't know them, take time with them, or at least come to find them at some point in the next day or two or week. Or honestly, right now is the best point, because if you don't, you probably won't ever fucking do it. Now, once you really figure out your strengths though, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take action with those strengths. Like for me, my strength is honestly like bodybuilding, to be honest. Like I have pretty alright genetics. I was never born really big, so that's kind of like my weakness, but I look really good. And so I play to that with like Instagram. Like I post online and it works out super well for me. It's where I get most of my money. It's just how I look and teaching other people how to look like me. It's my strength, dude. You know, I didn't pick my weakness and try to do art or some bullshit. I don't know. Whatever it would be. I don't even know my weaknesses. I just know my strength is that, so I play towards it. So once you start taking action is when it will lead to the results, which the results will lead to the belief in yourself. So once you realize your potential, that you are no different than anything else, and seriously understand that, and then you're going to write down your weakness, your strengths, okay, and then you're going to take action towards like actually developing those strengths or doing something with them, whatever it may be, you're going to start to see results in your life. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Maybe in a couple months, definitely a couple years, you will start to see results, but you got to stick with it. We'll go over kind of this later, but then you will start to see belief in yourself, because once you get a result in your life, your belief will increase. And once your belief in yourself increases, your potential increases, because your potential is basically your belief in yourself. If you believe it, you can do it. Anything that is actually able to be done, you can do it too. You can't fly. I'm sorry. But you can be like Jeff Bezos. If you really want it to be, it'd probably be like an insane life. You probably have to get really lucky. But you literally could do it. But you need to have this success cycle going constantly for a good amount of time. So it's potential, which equals taking your action, which equals getting your result, which equals increasing your belief about yourself. By the way, my name is Ryan Johnson. I'm a 20-year-old bodybuilding, fitness influencing, self-improving guy who just likes to talk about things that pop into his mind here and there. So I think if I said this earlier, maybe I didn't, but the original idea for this video you're watching right now wasn't kind of like this whole teach yourself thing. It was actually kind of about social media. I was sitting and I was thinking kind of like, what is wrong with my generation? Definitely social media. So I was like, okay, how do I make a YouTube channel? I was like, oh, I can't do that at all. Like, why social media is ruining our generation? Well, no shit. We all know that. You need to like get down to the actual thing about it. So why is it ruining it? It's not quite ruining it, because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of good information. If you're watching this video, you're watching good information. You're listening to good information right now. You say, I hope it's good information. But the thing is, we still don't know what to do with all this information. See, you have a lot of information. You might have been like learning for a long time, watching self-improvement content, but you really haven't seen much result in your life. Maybe you're on day 70 of no fap or something, but cool. that's still not like really any value added to the marketplace. So we want to take you from here to adding value to the marketplace, which means adding value or money into your pocket, basically. That's kind of like the whole point, and just living a cool life, right? So back to social media. The reason it's kind of destroying us is because, again, we were never taught how to teach ourselves. We sat in school, listened, did what the teacher said, and that's it. And then just consumed video games once we got home or whatever, or food or whatever. So it goes with social media now that we're like free as human beings and we have the iPhone. Even if we have a job, we're just consuming it all day. And there's a bunch of like good information on there. Exactly how to change your life or do whatever. But are we there yet? No, because we're not producing, because we're still consuming. So this is when the social media diet will come into play. And it's simply just dieting down how much time you're spending on social media. Or honestly, like really how much information you're taking in. You've been taking in information for a long time. You don't need much more, to be honest. It's time for you to like produce all of these thoughts you have in your head into, like, it's time for you to synthesize all of these thoughts and all of these things inside of your head into real life results, because that's how you will get the belief in yourself. Having the belief in yourself is the best thing possible. So social media diet, how do you go about it? The way I always went about it is 2 hours max on social media every day. That's still a lot. I don't know what you do on social media. Maybe you make money on there. I make money on there. I still only do 2 hours max every single day. So 2 hours max, set a screen limit for all of your social media apps. 2 hours max. Other than that, delete all the apps you don't need. If you don't need Snapchat at the moment, delete it. If you don't need Instagram, delete it. If you don't need TikTok, delete it. What are you learning? YouTube's like the best place to be. If I would have one, it would be YouTube. Second off, change the people you're following. If you're not conscious about the people you're following, then you're not conscious about where you're going in life. Because every input, it's just every variable in your life is going to get you the result you want. I learned this through bodybuilding. Every single little thing changes everything. And what I'm talking about is like 15 more grams of fat in one meal could change how my body looks a little bit. If I did it for 10 weeks, like an extra 15 grams of fat in this one meal for 10 weeks, I'd probably put on, an extra pound or two, and that's noticeable, like a fat. So it's like you really need to fine tune all these little variables and know exactly what is being inputted into your mind, into your body, so you can get the exact output you would like. Now this is kind of monk mode though. I'm not suggesting a lifestyle like this. I'm suggesting a period of time to really dial in. So once you get into the social media diet, which I just laid out, and you're really not spending any time there, you'd be like, wow, I have a lot of time. Like, what do I do? I'm really, really bored. And I'm telling you, produce. But like, how do you produce? Well, first off, you just need to become more present in your own life. Like, once you kind of get off of there, just like, at times you feel bored, just sit there. Feel the boredom. This is exactly where we want to go. You want to feel that boredom. You want to sit in it. Because thoughts will come right away. Your thoughts right away are gonna be like phone, Instagram, bored, what's going on. But if you kind of let those thoughts pass, you'll get into the deeper thoughts, and the deeper thoughts are the ones you want. And I don't want to I don't want to come off like sounding like strange here, but you almost connect spiritually to yourself, and a list of steps to become the person you want to become will be laid out to you. Not like right away, but over time. If you truly can pull back from intaking so much information when you don't need it, and just sitting inside of your own mind and kind of working towards the life you want to live, right? Or trying to teach yourself that certain thing. When you can sit in times of boredom and sit with yourself, a plan of exactly what you need to do, the exact steps you need to take will become so clear to you. Because right now you know the steps, you kind of know them, you understand. I probably need to do this and do that to get my business to here, to that, then I should do that. But it's not super clear. You might see it, but you don't actually really see it in like a 360-degree view. And that's why I said that's like spiritual. Because sometimes I'll sit and I'll see the exact steps. And I'll look all around and I'll look at exactly what life will look like at that step. So really becoming more present with yourself is super important. Because the best teacher is yourself. It's your mind. It's your infinite intelligence, which has always been like a really weird word for me, especially when I hear other people say I'm like infinite intelligence. Like, shut up, dude. But it's kind of true in a way. Your mind holds everything you really need to know. If you can truly look within it, you'll find exactly what you need out of life for the most part, unless you're like a scientist or some bullshit. So I think the best way to think about this is like God's plan. I'm going to have a lot of the atheists click off right now, but for the moment, let's just say the universe's plan, God's plan, whatever God you believe in or worship. It's God's plan to you, but how are you going to follow God's plan when there's constant distraction and constant noise? How are you going to know it? How are you going to listen and hear what it is when you're constantly distracted? You're always seeing what Andrew Tate's doing. All these, but you're like, what are they doing? I want to know. You don't need to know, okay? It's whatever. It's not gonna really affect you. It's just for this moment of time now, we wanna focus on you and build up your life. So cut out the distractions and really look internal. But really quick, I wanna go back to schooling really quick. And I didn't really discuss exactly why 95% of the way like teaching is done just doesn't work at all. So let's talk about it. So number one, the way they set up school, you know how you go in the morning and there's like 3 classes for whatever, then you get lunch, then there's gym, and then there's like 2 other classes or whatever. Usually that's how it was for me. How do you expect somebody to learn things when they're constantly switching between several different subjects within like a 6 to 7 hour time period, especially with a bunch of people around them and drama going on and all the... Nobody's going to learn at all when there's several different subjects going on all of the time. And that's why I think the power of teaching yourself is so much more important. And the second and only other point of why school doesn't work is school teaches you how to do the work, but it doesn't teach you how to figure out how to do the work. They tell you how to do the work and you do the work, but they never tell you how to figure it out. Mainly because figuring out takes a lot more time. Back when I was in middle school and high school, I remember I used to sit in class and the teacher would be like, for example, "Okay, class, what's 4 times 4? She would sit there and look and look. Nobody raising their hand, just a quiet classroom. You hear the crickets, the toilet flush. She goes, "Nobody? Okay. Well, it's 16, class." And everyone goes. And that was a really regular occurrence in all of my classrooms. And I never understand why. I thought we were all just awkward. But now I realize that it was just mainly because we were all just like dead souls just listening. Like not actually like learning and things going through our mind, but instead just trying to pay attention, but then kind of just like gazing off inside of our own head. Like I used to play video games inside of my head back in high school and middle school. Weirdest thing ever. I remember it. I would not be present in that classroom. And so that's like the biggest flaw. So I don't care what schooling you're really going through. Learning how to teach yourself is the most smart. So let's like actually like dive into it now. Okay, I just remember I can't tell you how to teach yourself or become self-autonomous because that wouldn't be doing it. So actually what I have to do is tell you how I did it. How did I become a self-autonomous individual that has grown his social media to over 300,000 followers in a year, made most of his income online, stuff like that. Those are my achievements. Did a bodybuilding show. How did he do it? Nobody teaches him. Nobody from his family is even similar. None of his friends around him are even the same. Very far from everybody. How did he do it? Well, I was always learning. I was on self-improvement. I was just always learning all of these things, but I never got the result until something tragic happened in my life, which I won't really go into, but it kind of made me flip the switch. And it kind of made me feel like I need to actually make a change. And so I cut out watching and mentally masturbating to all of these things, and I started to actually produce stuff. Anything. Just produce. Even writing is producing. Making content is producing. Building your body is producing. Going to it's producing a body and stuff like that. You just need to produce more with the information you had. So what I started to do is I was making a bunch of TikTok videos every single day. And I'm not saying go make TikTok videos because TikTok's not the same as it was when I started like a year ago. But you just need to start producing anything in your life, bro, because over time you will get really good at it, and that success loop system will constantly refeed itself. With this video, you're going to realize your potential, and hopefully you're going to go take action by producing something. You might start writing, you might start hitting the gym, you might start making your own content, you might actually go build your own business, you might make your own YouTube video, you might start your own coaching business, you might start paving driveways, you might start a strip club, I don't know. And then you will start to see results with whatever you do. People will start to be attracted to whatever you do. You'll start congregating with people, making money, or at least inspiring other people or whatever. And with that, the beliefs will come. You'll start to believe in yourself more. With more belief comes more potential. With more potential comes more action. With more action becomes more results. That is how you teach yourself to do anything in life. And that goes back to the game. If I didn't realize that I could edit the game myself, mod the game myself, I would have never done it. And I would never created that belief in myself that has helped me create so much inside of my life. Because when I sat there, I was like, okay, my brother did it. Why can't I figure out how to do it? Yeah, maybe he's 7 years older than me and a lot more developed. I can figure out how to do it, right? And I figured out how to do it. I realized my potential. That's all you need to do. But you need to cut out the distractions in your life. The noise that is going on to realize your potential. To really look within and actually see that you can become whatever. You just haven't becoming it because you have been putting in 1 hour of actual work every single week towards becoming that person. And that's another step to this and why I hate school. Deep, focused work is everything. It doesn't matter how many hours you work. It matters how many hours of deep, focused work you do. It's kind of like sleep. You know how we can all sleep 8 hours, but we're actually getting like 5 hours of real sleep, like deep, good sleep. It's kind of how work is too. You can work all day, 8 hours. We can actually get 1 hour focused work done. So when you do something or when you learn something, that's all you do. When you're reading a book, your phone should not be there and you should not be looking at it, or the computer should not be open and you're like thinking, okay, is my shipment coming in? I'm saying this because I do this all the time. I'm reading, I'm like, fuck, is that getting delivered tomorrow? I need to know. Oh wait, I'm going to Thailand later this year. Should I look at places? I'm like, oh my God. I'm not all the time, but when you're learning, learn. When you're working, just work. And you will start to produce so many results in your life, which will feed that loop system. So back to how I kind of realized my own potential that started to feed my success loop. When I started to post content, I got kind of pretty big with it, 100,000 in just a couple months, started to grow other platforms. But then I got the opportunity to go out to a gym in Houston. It's called Elfland. It's kind of like a big gym in the fitness community. And I went during a week that there was like an event going on. It's called Summer Shredding. So all of the influencers and also a bunch of people, a part of the fitness community kind of all came together. And it was just like, it was an amazing experience. And this was only about a year ago. It was actually 11 months ago. Took my first kind of trip and I actually like really experienced what the fitness industry was like, and that's kind of like what I was working towards becoming, like trying to get in, right? And it increased my belief in myself so much that once I got back, I realized that I had unlimited potential to become exactly like the individuals that I looked up to. That I started to take massive action. And what was that action? I worked towards doing my first show. I actually did my first show exactly at that place in Houston, at Summer Shredding next year. It would have been 8 months later, I believe. Something like that. I did my show there. That was my result. And after the show, it increased my belief so much that now I'm on to the next thing. I'll do bigger shows. I'll travel more. I'll increase the social media, stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? And so it's literally, all I'm trying to do with this video is to just get you to say, fuck watching all of this bullshit. After this video, no more than 30 minutes. Watching shit for the next week, just 7 days, no more than 30 minutes. Only when you're on the fucking toilet and eating food you get to fucking watch shit. Other than that, work, do something. And if you don't know what to do, think about what to do until you know what to do. What are those promises you made to yourself? What are those thoughts you had? You always want to do these things and become these things. Well, if you never realize your potential by quieting out the voices and actually looking inward, you will never do any of that and you will never achieve your potential. You'll never realize it into life. That's as simple as the video is. That's literally how to teach yourself. Realize nobody else is going to teach you how to do exactly what you want to do. The people you look up to are no different than you, and all you need to do is shut out all of the fucking distractions and get the fuck off your phone, get the fuck off everything, and just produce with your own mind. You don't need no more best 3 tips to learn how to make 10K a month. These are the 7 best side hustles. Oh my God, yo, those people are keeping you in a fucking loop. I don't give a fuck about making money off you. I just want to share it with you, bro to bro. So, go out there, become something great, dude.